was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Prepare ship for light speed!
No, light speed is too slow.
Light speed too slow? Prepare ship for ludicrous speed! Fasten all seatbelts! Seal all entrances and exits! Close all shops in the mall!
Now hear this! Ludicrous speed!
Sir, hadn't you better buckle up?
Now buckle this! My brains are going into my feet! Bullshit! Just stop this thing! I order you! Smoke if you got him.
I'm bored.
It's all in the reflexes.
Nailed the beanie.
Awesome.
Good morning, Valhalla. Welcome back. It's hump day. Get your hump on. Get your hump on because it's hump day. Humpity hump, 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 hump. Good morning. How's it going? Welcome back to YouTube Talk, where we're talking about your journey through YouTube, which is kind of fun. It's kind of exhilarating. We're going to go over some cool stuff. You have been here before on YouTube Talk, so we're not going to get into like Pops' origin story or where Pops came from or what Pops used to do. But we are going to get into all the cool things that you love, the stuff you share with your grandkids, because I want to tell you something, guys. Passing the cool shit on to the next generation. That's what this guy does right here. He passes the cool stuff. Batman, the animated series, Voltron, Star Blazers, you name it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like turtles. He shares it all with the grandkids because it's better than the slop they're coming out with today. So we're going to get into that. Let me welcome everybody. Good morning, my friend. Hopefully you are doing well and kicking ass and taking names this morning. Thank you for being here because this was kind of last minute. I told you last night, hey, I had someone fall through the cracks. They couldn't make it today. At least they let me know. Thank you very much for letting me know. And Pops was like, hey, I'll come on. We'll talk, cool stuff and retro and all that cool shit. So thank you for being here.
Of course, brother. It's always a privilege hanging out with you. And every other week I travel. It's happened to be an off week. So I was able to just, a couple messages here and there. We can make it happen. And just love hanging out in Valhalla. Great to be here and talk some shop.
Hell yeah. Let me say hello to everybody real quick. We got Jill Powers, the River Daughter. Good morning, Jill. We got Penny. Love you, Penny. Big hugs. Everybody give Penny a hug because it's hump day. And I know she loves hanging out in the mornings and hanging out with us. Jedi Master, Lost in Space and Sci-Fi Classics, whose channel is exploding because he does all kinds of cool retro shit that everybody loves. And a big thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. He says, good morning, Loki. Have a fantastic day. Skull, tuck and roll, my brother. Skull and tuck and roll to YouTube, bro. We're going to hit you with a tuck and roll because that's what you said, tuck and roll. So here you go. Here's your tuck and roll this morning. Tuck and roll, yet. Jill Powers, the River Daughter. Thank you for being here, Jill. Thank you for being a wrench. Thank you for helping out. We've got Justice Davalina in the chat. She says, good morning, Valhalla. Good morning to you, little lady. Hopefully you're kicking ass and taking names this morning. Hopefully everything's going good with you. Mr. Claude Sailing in the house. Good morning, my friend. Hopefully you were doing well, kicking butt, taking names. What is up, Padre? How are you doing, Cotton? What's up? Hopefully you're kicking ass, taking names, and not taking any shit this morning. I would expect nothing less from you, good sir. Who else we got? We've got the lovely Sherry. Good morning, sweetheart. How are you? Always love your pictures. Always love the icons you've got, the pictures. Brings a warm feeling to Loki's heart. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Grim Dark in the house. What's up? Morning, Valhalla. Good morning to you, sir. Hopefully you were doing well this morning. The Jester of Sin. Good morning. Arlena's Jester of Sin. Good morning, Valhalla. Happy hump day. Happy hump day, bro. Hopefully you're doing good. Hellion. What's up, Hellion? Good to see you. What's going on? Hopefully you were doing well. We've got Matt Cave Gaming. What's up, Matt Cave? Hell yeah, brother. Good to see you. Keep kicking ass and taking names. Don't take any shit. We've got Hellion talking back and forth to Jester. We've got BH Samurai 2020 in the house. What's going on? Hell, brother. Good morning. Keep kicking ass. Keep taking names. Mr. Dan Funk in the house. I don't have any Dan Funky music. All I got's mocking music, and I'm not playing that yet this morning. But good morning, my friend. Another wrench project story time. What's going on, brother? Hell yeah. Keep kicking ass. Keep taking names. Don't take no shit from nobody. Arlena says she's driving. I'm driving. Driving.
Careful out there. Just be careful.
Yes. Yes. Drive safe, Arlena. Keep safe. What else we got? And of course, Jedi Masters of Wrench. Thank you, brother, for being here and doing what you do. Keep kicking ass, keep taking names, and keep being successful on your channel, bro. He does a lot of stuff, and he's not taking any he's not like gimme money now. He just does what he does because he loves it, kind of like this guy over here. Whether he gets paid or not doesn't really matter. It's for the love of the game, right?
Yeah, 100%.
James Dosher in the house. What's up? He says, hey, all. Hugs, Penny. What's up, James? Good to see you. Do we have anybody else? Did I miss anybody? We got James Dosher. We got Project Cambrian. What's up, morning gang? Morning, sir. Hopefully you are doing well. And I think that's everybody. I think we got everybody. I've got some listeners listening in the back. Southern Viking in the house. Put the women and children to bed. And Sko, how are you doing, brother? Good to see you. It is really good to see you. Thank you for being here, brother. All right, let's get into some cool shit. Let's get into some retro stuff. Transformers, G.I. Joe, Voltron, Star Blazers, you name it. Batman, the animated series, Turtles. I like Turtles, like DJ Ronnie G in the house. I don't know if he's here or not, but morning, Deej, if you're out there. Tell us why do you love all the old stuff? Is it for the same reason that we love all the old stuff, or passing that on to a new generation instead of letting them watch the slop that comes out today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a timelessness about that stuff that connected with us when we watched it growing up, and this stuff happened in my lifetime. So it's even more special for me that, I got to see it from its origin state all the way through to now. And I don't, mince words with the kids about how we feel about where we're at with Disney. We don't really watch it. It's kind of, I still have the massive library of hundreds of their stuff, and it just kind of goes into one cabinet, and the other cabinet's just full of everything that they can watch. And when they visit, we let them, they take turns picking. And then when you pick something, they have to pick that can't be played again. We're not going to do a marathon. We're not watching, So I try not to bash it, the stuff I don't want to watch while they're here. I just try to, it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind. And then gradually, since they were really little, we've always just tried to introduce those old things as well. And then giving them the agency that they need to pick what they want. Even if some of you're like, oh gosh, I have to sit through that. It's totally fine. Like Tubi has episodes of Strawberry Shortcake that my one granddaughter likes to watch, but we're not going to watch like 6 hours of Strawberry Shortcake, but we'll be happy to throw on a couple episodes. And that's where we are allowed, we'll let them look at the images, let them, get creative, just like taking them to a Blockbuster back in the day where it's like, oh, you want to rent that VHS box? Sure. Yeah. Let's give it a whirl. See what you think. And I'll be honest that you have to have the patience to, and the pushback against stuff you don't like, and that they have to let stuff, encourage them to give it a chance. So most of the time they resist. So they'll be, I don't want to watch Ant and the Aardvark, Pops. I don't want to watch Rocky and Bullwinkle. But then when you're in your second or third episode and they're still glued with, silver dollar size eyes staring at the screen, you're like, oh yeah, it's just as timeless as it's ever been. So yeah, it's a fantastic experience living through another generation after my own kids and now their kids. So it's great.
Helen says, I'm happy, but I'm not stuck watching Barney anymore. Yes, I love you. You love me. And yeah, no. I totally get you. So I've got, we've got like a guest bedroom that doubles as a movie room if we take the bed down and move some shit around. I got a projector in there, and you open up the big double door closet, and there are 4 bookshelves in there full of movies. And you go in there like Dark Helmet, and you're like Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs, and you pick your poison.
Yep.
You pick your poison. I didn't allow my daughter to watch Barney. I didn't either. In fact, I was pissed when I went to pick her up from her grandparents and they had that shit on. I was like, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Yes, I have a kiddo. I actually have 2. So you want them to enjoy the stuff, and they do. You put on Batman. You got Batman the animated series going on. you've got like Strawberry Shortcake or
Mhm.
Voltron.
Mhm.
Me and you were talking about the fact that they tried Voltron.
Mhm.
What did they think about Voltron?
So yeah, my grandson, he enjoyed Battle of the Planets and Voltron. They're very similar in a lot of their early episodes. We didn't do Robotech yet. That's sort of like on deck for the next is to loop in Robotech. He has a little more anime and Gundam experience from his parents because his dad is really into that. So I think he may have already seen some Robotech. I'm not sure, but he well, my granddaughter too. They really have not disliked anything that I don't think would come back. Rocky and the Bullwinkle was pretty weak, but Rocky and Bullwinkle is kind of quirky. So it has quirky humor that I don't think they're always getting. When it comes to some of those classics like He-Man and Transformers and G.I. Joe, they all just go through phases of which ones they want to watch. G.I. Joe was really big when my grandson was into planes. He loved those sequences, and now he's moved into like naval battleships and World War II history. So, Spaceship Yamato is right up his alley, and that got that door open. Then they will also really do embrace, and we kind of dismiss all the other studios' animation. You know what I mean? We really don't talk about the fact that there is a ton of animation done by the non-Disney studios. So they really will watch not so much Shrek as much as they'll watch Puss in Boots and they'll watch, Hotel Transylvania. They'll watch Over the Hedge and those goofy, silly, fun for kid type adventure things, especially with animals. The girls love it. They're laughing, they're giggling. You can see why it resonates with the target audience, even if most of them are pretty mid as far as movie goes. And I think there's something special about just letting them be kids, letting them
Yeah.
find their way and experience things on their own. They just like us though, will go right back to their favorites. If I bring up Batman animated series, my grandson will say, I need to watch Almost Got Him. So Almost Got Him is number 1 through like 10 before I can get him to watch other stuff. Like it's so hard to get him to want to watch other ones. My granddaughter says she'll always go, they love Roly Poly Oly from back in the day. There's just so many of the favorites that they will go back to. So the point of me saying all that, I think, folks, is they're not really any different than us. As much as we might pile on the generation, we might think that they're being brainwashed by liking certain things. And that may be true. We probably liked a lot of fluff and stuff that was considered crap by, people that had more experience than us. And I think that over time, they will just enjoy finding their own way and sharing into some of that kind of stuff as well.
And when you get older, you have a new appreciation for things, but also like, okay, Robotech, for example. I can't watch the second and third season of Robotech. I understand that they cannibalized 3 different shows and called them the same thing, but I can't watch season 2 and 3 of Robotech. That first season I love, but even watching it as an adult, like me and Eris watched it recently through the whole first season until we got in the second season, she was like, what the shit happened? And I'm like, I know. You get older and you realize something wonky happened, and you end up finding out that these were totally different shows. But that first season, watching it as an adult again, I'm like, Min-May, shit or get off the pot. I'm like, God, quit playing with this boy. Oh, I love him. Oh, but I love him too. Oh my God, there's this other man in my life. And oh my God, I need a man. And da-da-da. And you're like, oh, you want him to be with Lisa. You want him to be happy. And you just want to slap the shit out of Min-May and tell her to go away because she's that annoying. And I don't remember feeling like that at all when I was a kid. I was just like, oh, Min-May. And as you get older, you're like, she's so needy.
Yeah, there's a lot of character drama in cartoons that you don't necessarily pick up on when you're young. And then as you get older, you're like, oh, this is an interesting character. This is like an irritating character that I didn't really bother. It grates me so much more now. And I will say, like, so Project Kamer brought up Ninja Turtles. So we do feud over, like, my grandson loves Ninja Turtles 2, not the first one. So it's not that he dislikes the first one. He just prefers this. I think it's the silliness and some of the goofiness still resonates. And it is it is interesting to allow them to kind of find their own aesthetics, if you will, and then ask them why. Let them just kind of start, I love challenging them that same way we do. My wife's like, you're such a critic. You're such a critic. I can't turn it off. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not looking to tell you there are legit phone calls where I'm like, dude, I just can't do it. I can't. I'm 40 minutes in. I'm just done. I'm out. I'm not watching this. Or there'll be like, there'll be something so stupid that has leaked. I'm like, nope, I don't need to subject myself to that. And just not. So yeah.
Well, like Padre mentions, okay, so I was a huge Thundercat kid. I love Thundercats. That was a big thing when we moved from California to Texas. When I was a wee little Loki, Thundercats premiered after that. So I was like, Thundercats. Oh, it's a big thing for me. I rewatched the entire series with Eris. After about the 200th Thundercat ho, you're kind of like,
skip the intro.
Do anything else?
Yeah, skip the intro. You realize that 22 minutes was really about 16 at best with a lot of stuff. And yeah, Thundercats really drives the missus crazy. She's not a big fan of when Thundercats is playing. And I will admit there are some. So, and again, we didn't get into like the Hanna-Barbera stuff, the classic Hanna-Barbera stuff. They really spin their wheels there. They love wacky races and Laugh Olympics and not the traditional. Like they love Scooby-Doo. I mean, whatever. But they had never seen Jetsons, so I just got Jetsons. So they have Jetsons. But they love like the Penelope Pit Stop and Dick Dasher, all these obscure characters, but they will want to watch those over and over. So those theme songs going in and out will start to grate on you. If you go past about 4 or 5 episodes, you're like, okay, I kind of need a break from this one. It's so-and-so's turn to pick. And you're like, okay. So
I never, some of those though, I never get tired of. Like Eris absolutely cannot listen to the opening of G.I. Joe anymore because we watched all 3 seasons of the original series and the movie. She likes the movie intro because she loves Cobra. She absolutely detests the Joes. Something I didn't expect. I expect her to like Lady J and all that shit. And what's the redheaded chick's name? Scarlet.
Yeah.
Scarlet. No, she's all Baroness and Destro and Cobra Commander. When she saw Cobra Commander in like a cape with the serpent staff, she was like, "Oh, my hero!" Oh, yeah. And absolutely loves that shit. But she can't stand the intro to Thundercats. That there's a bunch of stuff like that. But for me, it's like Transformers. I can listen to the intro from Transformers over and over. It never bothers me. It never grates on me. G.I. Joe's the same way. There's all these cool things that we got to experience. Looney Tunes. I remember Tiny Toons. Tiny Toons was a big thing. And then we got Pinky and the Brain. I can still remember the damn theme song to Pinky and the Brain. And I don't think I've seen Pinky and the Brain in like 20 years. Pinky and my brain. What do we give it to tonight, brain? What we do every night, Pinky. Try and take over the world. Yes. It's shit like that you're just like, man, I love that. And I love it as an adult.
But to take your point and to blow that up for folks is you're proving our example. There's so many things out there to choose from. So you don't really have to just let yourself get burned out on that theme song or those kind of cheekiness or silliness. If it kind of grates on you even a little bit, you can just dip your toe in from time to time, just enjoy what you enjoy and then find something else. There are just so many things. We watched 3 or 4 episodes of Samurai Jack, and then we switched it over and we're back over into, Hanna-Barbera type stuff. And then we're going to watch this. What was it called? Turbo. I did a video on I don't even know if I published it. Anyway, it was such a weird, goofy concept, and they just laughed. And I have to be honest, as bad as some of these kids' movies are, there usually is 2 or 3 like really funny gags. They usually just get something in there for us adults. But yeah, classic Looney Tunes is always a go-to. Tom and Jerry, I think, would also be in that same caliber of our go-to. They love to go to those discs pretty regularly. And again, I really focus on physical media. It is very rare. So if they get up really, really early and we're still in the middle, start the farm kind of day, then they will get to digitally stream because you're kind of keeping them away from waking up the whole house, right? So That is the only time. Everything else is physical media. They don't stream. We don't pull up apps. If they ask about Bluey, I don't have Bluey in my house. I have Bluey. I own a couple seasons of Bluey for like the little guys. It's totally fine. But that's not. They can stream all the time. But they're here. We focus on physical media. Why we enjoy it. I'll let them look at the artwork. I'll let them. I actually bought a copy. I know this sounds okay. This is how crazy I am and committed to doing this. I don't think I've ever told you this. Even though Marvel's put away. I don't have it out. And I'm talking about like my steel books, the whole thing, right? I found for $20, like all 20 of the movies, the first 20 movies on DVD. It's like a box set of 20 movies. So that's what they have access to because I don't care if they ruin it. So I'm like, yeah, open it up. You want to look at the art, look at the pictures, to get them into comic book movies and lore, comic books themselves. Because my one granddaughter was just here asking about Wonder Woman comic books. Like, what comic books do you have that I can read? I don't think I've read this kind of comic book or I haven't read that kind of comic book. Okay, I got you. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. So, yeah.
Yeah. And we were talking about this yesterday. If you haven't seen the review of Highlander that we did, we sat and talked about Highlander for like an hour and a half. We were talking about the switch between, okay, well, you watch this movie because this, and that. And then as you get older, you start to appreciate other things. I think Kurgan is the freaking man. I think, I mean, Kurgan's like the reason why Clancy Brown is the reason why I go back and watch Highlander. That used to not be the case. I used to love the story. I used to love the journey of Connor and him getting exiled and him finding Heather and Heather's death and yada, yada, yada. Now it's all Kurgan. Like the only reason I even put that in every year, once a year and watch it is because I want to see Clancy Brown kick ass as Kurgan. How many times have you gone, you know what? I may not like, okay, Lionel is kind of lame in Thundercats. He's kind of lame. Truth, justice, honor, loyalty. Yes, it's all fine and good, but they kind of act kind of
Well, he's a kid in an adult-sized body, and the goofiness, it fits as you're an adult and you kind of understand it more. But at the time, you're just into the adventure part of it. But as an adult, and again, I'm not their parent, so I can play with their minds a little bit. And I'll just ask them, like, why do you think he's acting so goofy? And they'll say something. I'm like, well, remember, he's still a kid. He was aged up, remember? And they're like, oh yeah, he's like me. Like he's not much older than me. And it's yeah, exactly. So maybe these crazy decisions are not the best idea if you're 11 years old or what. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity.
For me, it's like, okay, Munra, ancient spirits of evil, and the mutants, and what were the lunatics, and it's like all these goofy bad guys. Some of them are actually bad guys. Some of them are just goofy loser bad guys. That's why I end up going back and watching them. It's the bad guys, and it's there's a theme there. From Star Wars, oh my God, Luke and Han and Chewie, Chewie's my favorite. Yeah, to no, I want to be Mother effing Darth Vader. I want to walk. Your lack of faith disturbs me. There's a reason why we turn and we gravitate and things.
That's why Wrath of Khan is the pinnacle, right? It's because Wrath of Khan is the pinnacle of the Trekverse because of the villain, right? So you have to have a great villain. And I will admit that Joe and Transformers are the two that are sort of the exceptions to the rules because they have so many good secondary character villains. People are really into Dreadnoks, you know what I mean? And obviously the Decepticons are phenomenal, right? So
yes.
Who disrupts my coronation?
Coronation Starscream. This is bad comedy.
Yeah. Megatron, is that you?
Here's a hint. Oh, you're like, yes, yeah, smoke that fool. Yeah, it's yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, I love the Bourbon Bears. Lion-O, we're little teddy bears, Lion-O. Actually, I want to see the Ewoks eat the stormtroopers. I want to see them like roasting the stormtroopers and be like, "Ay-ya! Woo, woo,
the outtake
woo, woo."
is just the spit, they're rotating. Yeah, that's good.
And people probably are like, "Damn, bro, you're dark." No, I'm not. I want to see cool shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good.
My enthusiasm for Darth Vader was troubling to my parents. He's the man. I know what you mean, dude. I was like growing up. We're not going to talk a whole bunch of Star Trek here, I promise. But just bring them up for just a second. I like the Klingons. I like the Klingons going off the battle, singing the battle hymns. They're like Vikings. So why the hell wouldn't that be my favorite whole thing? To see them in dresses like they are today, I can't do it. I can't watch it. I can't have anything to do with that. I threw all that in the bin when they made them the orc Klingons, the orc goblin Klingons or whatever. And I was like, dude, he can't even talk in Klingon. He's like, oh. And you're like, no, dude, no, you have made them so utterly uncool and lame. It's lame and gay. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about cool stuff because that's why we're here. Thank you, everybody that's coming in the door. With AI, you can do that now. You can do, dude, you can do damn near anything. You can even make a beanie and a thumbnail.
Worked out. It worked out. But I've been down the track road a little bit. I've been doing my original series rewatch videos and sharing that with everybody. I was on with Pacific 414. I think I saw Mike come in, and we talked about Balance of Terror, which I think is my favorite to date, and why. And you know, it is fun to kind of analyze how influential the villain and the writing needs to be for you to enjoy something over like decades. Like people don't get it. I'm like, usually there's a formula on why you do. Like you usually kind of have to unpack it, and it's usually a couple of those little things. So it all makes sense to me.
We're not talking about the Rock Lords. We're not doing that. You just brought up childhood trauma, Tommy. I'm sitting there Christmas morning, opening stuff, expecting like, give me an Optimus Prime, give me a Megatron, and they're rocks. What the hell is this, Dad? It's a rock that transforms into a robot. It's about the lamest shit I ever heard of. Why? Because he got them at the dollar store.
Yeah, I remember the GoBot that we got as a kid, and it was just that they were so small. And you know, the Transformers at that point are these big metal things, and you're like, what is with this little GoBot thing? What is this nonsense? And you would just use them to be they were just like kicked around by your Transformer toys. And that was the thing too. Kids have to be kind of relearned how to play like we did. I don't have a problem doing that as well, where I try to encourage them, like, you know, everybody can play together, right? You know, like Batman and Vader can hang out together. It's totally cool. You can make your own teams. You can do your own thing. And it fueling that type of creativity as well, I think it's very important. So, yeah,
he was. He lost a finger in World War II.
Yes, war hero.
James Dohan. Sure. Or was it Korea? Was it Korea?
I think it was World War II.
I don't remember. Yes, he lost a finger in the war, and that's something you never like realize in all of the original Star Trek series. Is James Dohan is missing a finger?
Yeah, missing a finger. Yeah, it's definitely not a lot of shots. They do a good job of trying to stay away from showing you that. So, yeah.
My brother and I buried. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. My front yard, because we had a pool in the backyard, so there was no grass back there. You had like a little tiny bit of grass going back to like the water pump and all that shit for the pool, and around a little bit of grass going around to a work shed. That was it. That's all there was. So front yard, everything happened in the front yard. I guarantee you, there are melted GI Joes buried in the front yard. There is like little trip wire and mines and shit buried in the front yard, melted GI Joes with BBs in them, GI Joes that had their heads cut off, GI Joes that were like, you know, I was that little kid in Toy Story that had all the mutilated GI Joes because it's just as soon as I got old enough, I was like, let's go teach them what war really is, you know. So my GI Joe's like out there, and I'm above them, like, war never changes.
Wow, I don't think anyone is surprised that he was Sid. Just completely clear. I don't think anyone's surprised that he was Sid. I was always in trouble so after Empire Strikes Back, so I would put them in the freezer. You know what I mean? I had to put them in a carbonite. So it would be, you know, taking silverware or other household goods out into the yard, and then also like doing stuff in the house. I'd be in trouble, like stealing paint to repaint things or stuff like that. So Yeah, I don't know that anything got dug up. I have a whole box of my legit real figures. They're here. So
If I'd known, I had the damn carrier. You know how much that carrier goes for if it's in good condition?
oh
What
yeah.
did we do? We sunk it to the bottom of my parents' pool, and then it got put up in the attic. And the last time I was at that house, which was like over half a decade ago, we got up in the attic and the bottom part was there, but the top, the like landing deck for the carrier had been dragged off and was like a condominium for mice. I don't know how the hell they got the deck off of the carrier and moved it all the way over to the other room, but it was like condos for mice. And I was like, yeah, I ain't getting up there and getting that shit. There's no point in it. If I'd only known like what hey, you know, thousands of dollars for this GI Joe aircraft carrier, or hundreds of dollars for the F-14 Tomcat. I don't know. Would I not played as rough with them? I loved playing with them. How many times did you guys out there listen to this right now have like a base set up in one side of the house? You had like a landing platform that was also like a cave with a blanket strewn over it to camouflage it, going all the way into the other room of the house where you would play with your shit all throughout the house, because that's what you had.
I could
That's
go
what
back
you
and
did.
I could go back in time and tell myself not to do certain of these things. It wouldn't have happened. I would have been like, yeah, whatever, old man. I'm fine. Good, thank you.
And there's a $2 super chat from Jedi Master Lost in
yeah.
Space, guys. If you're not subscribed to him, make sure you are. It says, I love Star Blazers. It's one of my favorite. Dude, I love Star Blazers. That's why I got Battleship
space,
Yamato.
leaving Mother Earth to save our human race, our Star Blazers. Yes, fantastic.
In fact, my favorite, there's a Super Robot Wars game where you were actually, I think it's like Z or X or whatever the hell it is, where you actually get to play, your home base is the Yamato. So not only do you get to launch your mechs and all your cool shit from the Yamato, but you actually get to control the Yamato in battle. I'll see if I'll get a clip at some point and throw it into the intro. But you can do all kinds of crazy shit. And it's actually got the music. So you got the music from Star Blazers there playing while all that stuff's going on. It's like you said, awesome.
It is, it absolutely is. My grandson just got this Battleship Yamato Lego kit or something, so he's so excited about it, putting that together. So yeah, huge.
Thank you, Jedi Master. So is there anything you're like, okay, not yet? You don't get to see this yet, but you planning on it in the future?
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of live action stuff that you're just trying to feel out their personality and stuff like that. So on the animated side, I mean, I think so for the little, I mean, we have little girls still, like there's some of them are really young, so they're not into some of that kind of stuff. But for my grandson, he's 11, he's going to turn 12. So we're at the point now we're ready to like move into like a major leveling up, because and I will admit, they have an innocence about them that I didn't have, because I was a latchkey kid left home alone to watch whatever I could get my little grimy hands on. So we have a lot more control to introduce them into now the higher level PG and into the PG-13 stuff. So, but from an animated side, I think it's pretty free for all. I don't know. It's more like access. What do I have access to or don't have access to? And can I get them to watch? I can't think of anything. I don't know that my grandson is so into Transformers that the movie will traumatize him or not. I don't know. I don't know if he'd be traumatized. We haven't watched the movie together. He may watch it with his family, his parents, but not with me. But yeah, that would be a little bit more of, all right, is he ready for this? Like I wasn't. And I was old.
No, I wasn't either.
I was old. I wasn't even a kid. I was old and still was like, holy crap, I can't believe they're doing this. Yeah.
I went and saw Aliens when I was like 8.
Yeah, you saw stuff way earlier than me. I was really older and saw Aliens and was traumatized. I can't imagine 8.
Well, it went from, we've got this huge family of Navy pilots in San Diego, where I was born, to Texas, where it was like, yeah, we had, I had a couple of aunts, but my dad didn't really have a buddy to go watch anything with. So
Mm.
if he wanted to go see a movie, he was like, "Hey boy, let's go watch this movie." So I saw RoboCop. Yes, I saw RoboCop in the theater when I was like, boop, still in short pants. Aliens, you name it, we went and saw it. And if my mother decided I want to come along, she went and saw her own movie, and we went and saw whatever movie he wanted to go see. Same thing with He-Man. Saw Masters of the Universe in theaters. She went and saw, I don't know what the hell she went and saw. I don't remember because it wasn't that important. But I remember going and seeing He-Man. And I remember my dad going, "This movie sucks." And I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
I thought the hoverboards were cool. And yeah. They didn't stay in Eternia. So you grow up and you expect, I didn't even know there was a scene with Skeletor coming out of the lava underneath Grayskull, and he's like, "I will return." I didn't even know about that for years. Same thing with the Professor X thing at the end of the third X-Men movie.
Right.
I was standing in line waiting for Halo 3 or Grand Theft Auto 4 or something at a GameStop, and someone was like, "Oh, Professor X didn't die." Like, what do you mean Professor X didn't die? He died in the third movie. Now you got to watch the end of the. Got to watch the end after the credits.
Stinger scene. Yeah.
There's an X at the end of the credits. This was before everything was plastered all over the internet.
Yeah, you didn't know. Like, I mean, it's tricky. So for me, it was all pretty well locked down until middle school. Middle school was when I was really getting left home alone now. And I was also getting dropped off at the dollar theater. So like, okay, well, I can entertain this kid for a couple hours for just a few bucks. So they would just leave me there and with a friend or something. So I would get to see 2 or 3 things at a time. So that's easily the era when things become PG-13, etc. But to watch Alien, I don't think I saw Alien until like 8th grade. So I had to have been like 13 or maybe in 7th grade, something like that, way older. And was like, and it was a TV version. And I was still like freaked out. Like, this is intense. So yeah, I could not imagine have been, because you would have been pretty young of seeing Aliens. You would have been like 7 or 8, right? Something like that.
And I didn't have the attention span to watch Alien. I didn't. All I remembered later was that scene with Ash when he's like,
oh, right.
And I was like, "Is he a robot?" My dad's like, "Yeah." I'm like, okay. And then going off and playing with my cars or whatever I was doing. But Aliens was a totally different story. Why? Because you had G.I. Joes, Marines, whatever you want to call them. You had the cool military guys. And it was funner. And yeah, did it scare the shit out of me? Yeah, especially the scene with Ripley and Newt in the room when the face huggers, when Bert drops
attacking in the lab. Yeah.
The red light. It's the red light. Anytime I was in a dark room or red light, it immediately brought me back to little face huggers running around and turning you into an alien.
So yeah, it was up until it took until I was like a freshman, like the 8th grade, 9th grade was the transition summer kind of thing where you could like be old enough now, you could kind of know how to navigate and sneak into the rated R movies. And I kind of like the veil was pulled back so I could finally see. And yeah, I was pretty spooked out by like the first watching of like Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. But most things were on VHS, so they weren't really as scary as a lot of people talk about. Like for me, when I saw Thing, I just loved it, but I wasn't like scared by it because I saw it at home on a VHS tape. I didn't see it in an actual theater. But to circle back to the cartoons, that's part of the reason why I've added some of the public domain cartoons to the channel, and I've created this like Saturday morning cartoons with Pops thing, so that I can try to have something that I can share with people and also my grandkids to say, this is kind of what it was like. Here's the actual cartoons. We have commercials in between. Then I would come on and talk about, a show I'm watching or something like that. So I think there's a sadness about me, and my wife's really, really pointing this out every step of the way of how much this stuff has culturally been stolen from us. We don't have event TV anymore. We don't have shared experiences anymore. We just don't have those things. And the amount of that we grew up on, there are so many that were like that. Like, even if you didn't watch it, everyone my age knows what it was like to live through the shooting of JR and watching when Roots and Shogun were TV miniseries, and these certain movies were these big blockbuster type things. It's just all that's kind of been stripped away. And I don't know how that genie gets put back in the bottle because everything is so accessible at home and on your computer and your phone. So
yeah. And you know what? We got a buddy. He's actually in the description of this video. His name's Ironcaster. And Ironcaster reminds me a lot of me when I was younger, because we would go to Hollywood Video, we would go to Blockbuster, and we would do like the get 6 movies for the weekend for $1 each. And we would pick the raunchiest, weirdest B movies you could imagine, whether they were horror, whether they were comedy, whether they were whatever they were. We'd go through those sections and get like Puppet Master 2. We'd get a whole like selection of them and watch these stupid movies. Blood, whatever the blood vampire movies were from Full Moon Entertainment, the same people who did Puppet Master. The Bloodstone, these weird B movie, bloody murder movies, and just sit around and watch these stupid ass movies all weekend and chill and have fun or smoke and do whatever. I'm Gen X. I remember all that shit. That's right. What's up, Keith?
And I'm like the older brother to you, right? So I'm about 10 years older than you. So we had the same experience that like before Blockbusters and all that, we had a local video store. They had these little wooden clips, like they look like those like little key ring things that you have now where they're made of wood. They have a number. You have to go get that. You go, but all the videos were behind a desk, and you could get up to 6. And usually I could get, and again, a credit to my friend's mom, because she was the one that would do this for us, and they'd get 6 movies, like you say, and they would entertain us for a weekend. And I could usually squeeze in 1 or 2 of my sort of like, hey, what about this one kind of thing. But man, I tell you what, this is an era where you'd have all sorts of crazy stuff that people would watch. I mean, I remember the backlash, and these moms, like that mom was fooled into, letting us watch Faces of Death. Anybody remember that nonsense? Serpent in the Rainbow. Remember that nonsense? Like these mothers were like, holy crap, so yeah, you get 1 or 2 past them, but yeah, different world for sure. So
I think you might Cotton. Holy shit. The amount of content we had, like you said, you guys had like little key rings with wooden things on them. The first video store I remember going into was called GNR Video. It was a mom and pop video store. But they had like empty boxes. And like you said, you take the empty box up there. They might have 2 copies of a new movie, and that was it. So you took the empty copy with the styrofoam in it. I kept it like, you took it up there, you handed it to him. It had a number on it. He put it behind the counter, went through his thing, pulled out the movie, you got the movie. That was it. If they didn't have it, like I said, they might only have 2 copies of a brand new movie. You had to wait. Your ass was waiting till everybody else got their shot at it. Eventually, you'd get Blockbuster where they'd have a whole damn aisle of one movie, and you're like, damn. And then they'd have 50 of them 2 weeks later for sale. $9.99 if you want this movie used. But all that's gone. It's all streaming and Tubi and all that shit now. So that whole experience is just gone.
Yeah, and it's very frustrating, I guess, and that's my only real big pushback to the fact that we're seeing this consolidation with these different mega companies and stuff like that, is that many of these just lose their presence. They just won't release them digitally, so you end up with like physical copies are next to impossible to find. And let me just encourage you folks, if you have not been to like a pawn shop, or you haven't been to like a flea market and you're into physical media, just go spend some money, man. Encourage these people to keep selling DVDs and whatever. We went to a flea market, and I would tell Loki about this. This dude had so many things. He had a trailer that he's taking to other events, and that's where all the Blu-rays and the steel books and stuff were in this trailer. It's like it literally was like he drove it up, lifted it up to the booth part. The booth part was, I'd say, 90% DVDs, but this trailer he's taken on the road for shows. He had so many things. There was a whole section. I found it said over, like a piece of tape says overstock. So there's a whole row, literally 2 feet. This one would say Jaws, Indiana Jones, back to, it was like he had so much overstock, and it was just all Blu-rays, all steel. It was insane. I can't wait to go back. I told my son-in-law, we're going back, going on a road trip where we can spend some time, because wow. Scavenger hunt though. Scavenger hunt.
Go to Goodwill, you'll find tons of cheap price DVDs and CDs. Yeah, and some records. Sometimes you might
records.
get lucky and get.
They
some
had a record
vinyl.
person at this flea market too, which would make Loki. If it wasn't like a Sunday, I would have pulled out my phone and probably messaged him. But yeah, I got to go back.
Hit the flea market. Yeah, hit the freaking flea market.
Yeah,
I've got a bunch of James Bond records, vinyl records I picked up from a damn, like, it's not a Goodwill, but it's like an antique place, like $2 a record. I was like, dude, these are originals from, like, you know, the 70s and the 60s and the 80s. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
One guy had 8-track tapes. They'd have to be generic 8-track tapes, or they weren't really of a specific band. They were just more like generic, you know, RCA presents and just random things. But I would have probably spent more time trying to go through those label by label to look for some. It'd be kind of a cool, talk about an archived item, an 8-track tape, man. That's old school. So
yeah, I took, it was about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I took Eris to her first flea market. She'd never been to one. There's a big one about 30 minutes from where we live, and just the stalls. And it's almost like a store, a long ass storage area, but they have stores in them.
Yep.
And she was just like, I've never seen anything like this. One place would have knives and swords. One place would have clothes,
anything,
games, DVDs, board games. Like you said, anything and everything you could think of.
Food. I mean, just pick your points. Yeah. So, and that was what my, and you can share the story with her too. That's what Pops's little card and comic store was in back in the early 90s, because my parents expanded their business into this big booth area at this giant new market down that was near the college I was going to. So I could go and I could set up my own table and a wall and whatever with my own stuff if I ran their booth for them. So I was able to have a store for a few years where I would buy comic books and then sell other comic books that would pay for my addiction. And so I've been a little bit of a flea market bug for a long time. It was kind of cool to go back to one so big, because I had a good time doing it. So
if you guys have ever listened to a reel-to-reel player, absolutely awesome. I love it. It can be a little janky, but it sounds absolutely awesome. So happy day, happy dinosaur, brother. Thank you, bro. I'm honored. I can't wait to see what you do. I cannot wait to see what you do. Happy day, brother. Hope you have a great one. Can't wait to see the drawing. Thank you. I very much do appreciate it. We are going to start winding down here. Oh, no, you're fine.
I was getting something to show you.
I
take my earbud out. So I don't think I've ever shown you. I know I showed Arlena and them on one of their shows. So this is a friend gave me this. This is it's a Texas Instrument.
Yep. I used to have one of those
for cassette tape. So
with the red record button that would hit the play button at the same time.
It's not red, but yeah, it's old school. It still works. I just don't have blank tapes to play with, but yeah, it's an old TI. Has the little the counter on it, so you can have the little markers. So not reel to reel, but in that same way. Yeah, cassette like
they
that.
are still making tapes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Yes, this is a real cassette tape. Yes, it will work in your player. I actually have a player. That thing doubles as a tape player. So my vinyl record thing has multifunction, Bluetooth records, tapes. But yeah, it's
fun to expose that to the grandkids too, like trying to share your heritage, you know, the stuff that you experience. And if we're that generation, you know, from the boomers into the Gen Xers, where all this technology exploded, right? They just went from, you know, it was not that there wasn't any technology, but the fact that it just went so fast, so quickly before because they've never known. My kids never knew a world, where this stuff wasn't like this. So yeah, I try to share, and I think that's a little part of. I've incorporated that a little bit here on YouTube. Like I think I have more of a hodgepodge approach in some ways to that, because as you and I discussed, you can't really control so much of algorithms or views and all that kind of stuff. You just have to do what you do enjoy. And I want the show and the channels to be a reflection of me. And that's part of it, talking and sharing these kind of stories for sure.
Yep. And I kind of feel that way about cassettes.
Cassette tapes too.
I remember when we made the jump from cassette to CDs, everybody was like, oh my God, the quality. Oh my God, this. I've gone backwards. I'm not big on cassettes. I'm not big on 8-track, but I love vinyl. I know you can't take vinyl with you in the car. I've got a damn phone that can play any song I can think of. So I'm not really worried about that in the car. But at home, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not going to Bluetooth that thing. I'm going to listen to vinyl. It's set on vinyl right now. I will move my Transformers out of the way that are sitting up there. I'll pop a record in. In fact, right now, that's actually open. Soundtrack to Castlevania Symphony of the Night was playing there. Why? Because I love digital game music, and it sounds absolutely badass. Yeah. I've got Star Trek original series sitting here that I haven't even opened yet, and I haven't cataloged it because I want to actually open it and listen to it. That'll be next. I love the way my vinyl sounds. I don't care who digital technophiles out there go, you don't understand, Loki. The digital music is so much better. It's so much clearer. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. It sounds better coming out of my big ass speakers on that. It sounds cleaner. It sounds richer. It sounds better than your digitally scrubbed bullshit. And that's how I feel. I don't care if you agree with me or disagree with me. That's just how I feel about it. And you're not going to change my mind.
Yeah, everybody has to just find their own way and their own path. What makes you happy, man? Stop crapping on each other. It's okay.
There you go, happy.
Awesome.
Holy shit. Okay, so anything out there you would tell people to go back and check out that they may have forgotten about before we get out of here? Anything that you would be like, you know what, go back and give this a chance, because maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't, but it's really good. And
so definitely not necessarily in the cartoon realm, even though I will say the fun thing about some of those apps like Tubi and Pluto TV is they carry just some obscure stuff. Now, I'm preparing for an interview that we have with, his name is David Weiner, and he is a documentarian now and has done some incredible stuff on horror movies from the 80s and 90s into sci-fi. And I can tell you that no matter what you think you've seen, there will be something else. I was just telling Loki right before this that one of our fellow YouTubers is doing a whole show on a 1983 horror movie that I had never even heard of. There's always more out there. And I love doing first watch reaction videos with people. So I have you on as a guest. It's your first time, my first time, whatever. So, we've watched through, Korean cinema films that I had not seen or heard of. Let me tell you what, Train to Busan. If you've not seen Train to Busan, man, that movie is insane. Train to Busan's epic. But
Bitch of Busan is really good too.
Memories of Murder was fantastic. But even just the 70s era of stuff, I just skipped over some of that kind of stuff. We just watched Marathon Man. I just never had seen Marathon Man. So I got a video coming out soon of that. And you're right. I think what Dave Bob put up is a great example. Like, how many people have never even heard of Johnny Quest? And it is phenomenal artwork on Johnny Quest, man. They brought in some epic artists for Johnny Quest. I think it's one of the most beautifully animated of that era that doesn't get credit for that. But I wouldn't know what to tell people without knowing what they have or haven't seen. But you know what? Just scroll through some of those lists. We're going to do working on like a little series this year called the best of the 2020s, but I'm thinking about having playlists that become best of those type decades or half decades or stuff, so we can include things that we've talked about, because we do talk about some of the best of the best. And you mentioned briefly that we talked about Highlander yesterday.
Yes.
And I just seen a 10 or 15 epic films from 1986, and how Highlander and Pretty in Pink were not on that list. I don't know. Like, it was so weird to me that two of the most, whether you like them or don't like them or not, you can't deny those two are way more popular and way more impactful than 3 or 4 of the other sludgy movies that they put on this list. It's like,
it's because they don't even look at that. They just look at like a score on the internet, and that's what they base all of this off of. Most of them don't even take the time to watch the damn movies they're talking about. That is one of the biggest problems I have with this arena that we've all chosen to be in, called YouTube, is most of the people that talk about this shit don't even go and see it. They don't watch it. They don't care to watch it. They just act like they've watched it and then want to talk about it. Actually, go in and watch something instead of going, hey, we're going to talk about the very best, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that, yada, yada. If you haven't seen this shit, you don't deserve to be talking about it. I don't care if you've just seen it. I don't care if you've spent 10 years watching it. At least watch it at some point.
Yeah,
they're not going to watch it. Don't talk about it.
This was a list of 10 movies, and they had The Name of the Rose, which is a Sean Connery film, and they have Hannah and Her Sisters. So, look, neither of those are bad movies, but they're not classics, and they're definitely not holding a candle to Highlander or Pretty Pink's influence, and that's objectively. So, I don't think I'm going on a limb when I'm putting Highlander and Pretty in Pink on a list and taking these 2 movies off of their 10 list. Not to say that there's not other movies that probably could go on. I'm not sure Platoon is considered as much of a classic as some people think it is. It was very impactful for its day, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. That's what makes it kind of fun doing, though, right?
Right.
We can have those conversations and discussions and debates and whatever. So it's fun.
Jill agrees with you.
Yeah, it's good. Jill's got good taste. What can I tell you?
Guys, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to be checking out Star Trek Voyager today. There will not be a Transformers video later today. That is being held up because I'm going to do a group of them. So I've got the Volcanus Dinobot set, the Masterpiece Dinobot set that joins together and forms into Volcanus. And I wasn't ready to dump it out yet because I don't want to take it like 2 weeks to do this one like I did Devastator. So you're going to get a couple at a time. So we're going to do 2 at a time. That was me changing my mind and going, we're going to do this one a little bit different. And then Grimlock will be the last one, and then we'll make him so it doesn't take forever to get through these. So nothing out today, but you will get one tomorrow and you will get one Friday. So have faith that, yes, they are still coming in. Yes, you're still going to get 3 videos this week. What do you got coming up? I know we're going to do an interview tomorrow.
Yeah, we recorded an interview tomorrow, so that'll come out in the next couple weeks. David Weiner here, but we did a great What's Your Story conversation. I had you and Troy discussing this YouTubing thing and some of those pitfalls people may not be aware of. As I said, I've done that Best of Movies series. I've done a couple of those now. Joker Voice, our friend and creator, has joined me to discuss The Menu, which I think is one of the more underrated films since the 2020s. And today is comic book day. So yeah, I did a couple of little catch-up little clips that I've done talking about some comic book stuff, but tons of videos. I mentioned Train to Busan, so that'll be a review that'll come out here in a few days. But yeah, keep a watch. The thing is, I don't have the perfect channel to be like, rocket in views because I cover so many different things in different ways. But that means there might be something for you. That's all I can say.
Guys, we're going to get out of here. Take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend in there. And a big thank you to Pops for coming on today at the last minute. It is very much appreciated, my friend. And we will see you guys next time on YouTube Talk. And we'll be back Friday for the weekend review. Y'all have a great day and a great Thursday. And yeah, later, Valhalla. Thank you for being on here. Holy shit. And now I got to find the button to get out of here because I can never do that. It just never works out right. Maybe I can give him a skull before we get out of here. Question is, which one?
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.